Okay, Instagram is set. Hello, Instagrammers. Now I'm working on TikTok. Okay, get rid of that. Come on, motherfucker. No template. We're going live. I definitely need a new stand for this cell phone. This bitch is tripping. Okay, so um, what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna take about like 4 or 5 steps back over here, and I'm going to re-educate you guys on some bound fighting. After I do bound fighting, I'm gonna do weapons demonstrations, and that way that'll end out the day. I'm probably gonna get tired. My nose is probably gonna run. Hopefully, no one will interrupt the live, and no one will get in the way or come behind me while I'm doing the stuff. Now I'm not gonna do swords and stuff. You guys already seen me do that, and I will be honest with you, I'm not a swords person. I can use it just enough to save my life. Would I prefer it? Nah. Any weapon that I pull out, I would prefer just to use these ones right here. So before we even get into that, I'm gonna explain this to everybody who's a martial artist or everybody who watches way too much TV or way too many movies. Unless you are living in rural Japan in the warring states, or unless like China, Japan, and the bulk of Asia don't have you having anything against the law with you walking around with a samurai sword and shit, if that's your thing and they allow it, cool. Here's the reality. Alright. 9 times out of 10, if a sword comes across here, your hand is gone. And everything else. Also, when you're working your weapon, there's a high probability that you can take your own goddamn hand off. Which is why I don't use my kamas, because they're actually sharp. Now my wooden kamas that I also use as tonfas, that's a whole different ball game, right? And they're wooden. Now in the right hands, I can't take your hand, but I can beat the crap out of you with wooden kamas and tonfas a whole lot better than gashing you up with steel weapons, all right? And if I beat you with a wooden weapon, I'm not going to get as much jail time as I gash the crap out of you with a real weapon. If I use a real weapon, I'm fixing on doing a little bit of time. Alright? Now, another thing, I will also say this because I live by this 10 toes down. A weapon that you can't get to, or a weapon that somebody who has a little bit more knowledge of that weapon than you have, belongs to them. And it is an advantage that they can take from you at any time. They might just be playing with you like, oh, this guy's got a sword. I've been training with swords since I was 3. This guy has no idea what he's doing. Yeah, he watches too much TV. He can do all that shit that he does on TV. True. And most of the stuff you see in the movie is mostly very well choreographed by actual martial artists who are actual experts. Now, they leave that shit off when they make movies, and they get all the things, all the slips, and they put them in the blooper reels. But they also use unsharpened weapons. However, an unsharpened weapon can still do damage to you if you are not careful. And a lot of people don't understand that 9 times out of 10, no matter how sharp the blade is or how dull the blade is, it's generally the force behind it that will fuck you up. Okay, hi to everybody. I will not be replying once I start working out with these weapons. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that first, don't attempt anything that you see on TV, Instagram, YouTube, wherever the fuck this is coming to you from. I'm a martial artist. I've been doing this shit since I was 6 years old. Technically, I've been doing this shit since I was 7. I was actually fist fighting since I was 6. But anyway, come hell or high water, if you don't have martial arts training, don't do anything that you see. If you do have martial arts training, don't do anything that you see. I've been doing this for so long, and my moves and your moves are never going to look the same. Alright, and this is another thing that people tend to leave off when they teach you martial arts. You may be doing it right. It's just that my body and your body are different. They all look the same on the outside, but they all move differently. Range of motion is a thing. Knowledge is a thing. People leave this shit off when you go watch all these videos about how to choke a motherfucker out, how to disarm a person. Here's my thing. if you're disarming me, you need to be on this side of me. Not right here, because you are subject to this arm right here. So if you take my knife and you're standing in here, I got another knife to stab you right here, because you're only focused on the knife that you see. Now, if you're on this side, I got to work to stab you, which means you can take control and keep me from stabbing you at a distance. Same thing with a firearm. You don't want to be right here and having the firearm right here like you see in the movies. And if you are here, you grab here, so it better be, if you're here, boom. If it's left wrist, boom. Because if you don't do something, his other hand, the one you didn't see because you were stupid enough to be on the inside, you're going to get fucked up. All right? So with Kung Fu and with Kempo, which a lot of people don't seem to understand, a lot of martial arts roll hand in hand. All right? In Kung Fu, if you're throwing a back fist, I want to be right here. So one hand here, pull at the wrist, push at the elbow. My job is to bring this part of your bone through this part of your arm. All right? Now with Kung Fu, that's a whole lot of directness, where with karate, if you're throwing a punch this way, and I'm blocking and countering, and you're going to be countering. I want to avoid that. So when you're throwing that right jab to my face, which will be this side, I want to be out here. Something just happened with my Instagram. I want to snap your elbow, and I'm going to pull my knee into you, and I'm also going to short my elbow into your face. And I'm going to do some stuff that's going to make damn sure that the job gets done. I don't know what's happening with Instagram. I don't know. Okay, let me see. I guess Instagram must have automatically got the camera off. It's back. It's back. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what the hell happened. Anyway, moving on. With Kung Fu, if I block here and strike here, it needs to be here because I'm not safe. All right? But if I block here and strike here, it's going to happen after I break. Yeah, because I'm going to boom, break, snap, or boom, break, and strike. Where with karate, it's going to be block and then strike, and then you're going to block. You understand? We're going to be fighting all day. I'm a small guy. I'm 5'3". Instagram has paused. Instagram is back. So I want to make sure people understand stuff. Fights change in battle. Fights change mid-battle. Fights change from the beginning to the end. And somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, or it's going to be a double knockout or a draw, where you're just going to fight until you can't. And then both of you guys are probably going to pass out. Anyway, you have to be aware of all the scenarios that can happen. But if someone puts a weapon on you, especially a firearm, you want to get to the outside. You don't want to be on the inside because they have two hands. Alright? They don't teach you that shit on these videos. I don't know why they don't teach you that shit on these videos. They're supposed to be professionals, but they probably have never been in a disarming class where they actually teach you, if you get to the outside, you can drag them around and keep the weapon from you. The only downside is who else is in the area. And 9 times out of 10, when you're grabbing somebody by their wrist, they're probably going to start discharging the firearm. And most people are scared when they hear that first shot go off, and that could also get you shot because you're thinking, oh shit, did I get hit? So the last thing you need to worry about is if you got hit. You'll know if you got hit. You'll probably feel it. So you want to take that weapon from them as fast as possible. It's probably a whole lot easier to disarm a firearm than a knife. Don't believe that shit. It is not easy to disarm anybody. Alright? It is never going to be easy to disarm anybody. I will advise you that if you are in a robbery situation, this is your wallet. Give it to them. Your money, your credit cards, all that shit can be canceled. You can re-earn your money. You can't re-earn your life. This is not a video game. You do not live in the motherfucking Matrix. Give them the fucking wallet. Don't fight them. Don't try to be a hero. Give them the wallet. You are not Bruce Lee. Okay, so now that we got that shit out the way, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to reacquire you with the bound fighting that I started with, and then after that, we're just going to have weapons demonstrations for fun because I owe you guys a video. And today is perfect. It's not too cold like Monday and like Tuesday. So we're going to be like Felix in my bag of tricks. Refresher course. You are not going to do the following when you have your hands tied up. Rather they be in the front or the back, because they would either get you messed up or they would have to be complete desperation moves. You're not going to do the reverse tornado. Alright? You're not going to do a jumping spinning back kick. Okay? You're not going to do my pitiful ass butterfly kick. And it is pitiful because I'm no longer young, I am no longer healthy, and I am just barely able to get my legs off the ground. And I just sprang a knee. And you're not going to do your foot sweep. Like I said, I sprained my knee. Fan-fucking-tastic. Alright, we're still going on though. So, this is a rope. And 9 times out of 10, again, you're not going to ever probably need this in your life unless you're making a movie. Yes, I literally have sprained my knee. It literally does hurt like a motherfucker. But the show must go on. So, hands are tied. From the back, this is my blocking range. That's not going to be effective. Alright? So I'm in danger. As I said before, whatever way I kick my enemy is in the direction that I don't want to go. If my door's over there, I kick my enemy over here. If my door's over here, I did that wrong. If my door's over here, I kick my enemy over here. If my door's over here, I kick my enemy over there. You kick them in the opposite way of your escape route, especially if you are not a good fighter. All right? So, for the sake of argument, and because I just sprained this knee, we're going to kick my enemy over there. All right? So he's coming at me, and I'm going to use my right outside to inside crescent kick because I can put more power behind that shit than my inside to outside crescent kick. And something just happened with TikTok. I have no idea what's going on. I guess I can accept them. Oh, nope, something happened. Sorry. Send it again. Okay. So again, my door's over there. Guy's coming at me. My hands is behind my back. Boom. All right. So I got him this way. I'm going this way. If I'm not a good fighter, I am not trying to engage my opponent. I am not. So my leg's gonna hurt a little bit, but I'm gonna do it anyway. My door's over there. I'm sending him over there. Same kick, different leg, outside to inside. So here, boom. Sending him over that way. Why am I doing that? So that I can go this way and escape. I don't want to have to engage anybody with my hands tied behind my back. It's really just that damn simple. And the reason for, not because I'm old. Maybe I just fucking suck. Maybe I'm not a good fighter. And the safest thing to do is to get the fuck out. My hands are tied. I can't really defend my face. I can't defend myself from a knockout. Other basics, again, my leg is really fucking hurting, but I'm not going to stop the video. So he's running at me, boom, I step back, boom. You want to be able to step back so that you can keep engaging at a distance, and that will keep you from getting fucked up a little faster, or just keep him at a bay. So every time you also kick him, you kind of want to kick in the sternum and solar plexus. If a person can't breathe, they can't hurt you. So you want to try kicking through here with your hands tied behind your back. Boom! You want to put everything you can, especially if they're running. Now, what you don't want to do is get knocked down on your arms, but if you do, you want to lay your arms flat as possible. Do not try to bend. Do not try to catch yourself. You will probably snap your arms. So you don't want to do that. All right. As you see, my leg is really fucked up from fucking showing off. All right, now we're going to go to the front so we can go ahead and get this weapons demonstration over and have fun now. All right, so in the front, you have a better probability of surviving because you have the ability to fucking block. This is also a weapon as well as a hindrance, so it is no longer your handicap because the idiot that tied you up in front. So you have your high right, medium with knee, low. You have your high left, medium left, medium with left, knee, and low. Alright, and the reason why you have to remember those 4 blocks, you also have the ability to block in a circle. Alright? Now if you get behind the person and put your hands behind them, put your knee into the lower part of their back, or depending on if they're tall, then you put them in their shoulder blades. But you want this around their neck, and you want to reel back until they either turn blue or fall asleep. Once they stop moving, you have effectively knocked them out, or unfortunately unalived they shit, and we don't want to do that. I don't know why Instagram keeps taking my camera off. Okay, so now that you have your hands tied in front, guys coming at you with a hook to your left side of your face rather, because it's a right hook. Boom, boom. Okay, now you back it up. Boom, boom. Ah, my leg. Okay, so you have your options. He's throwing a left hook to your right. You can go this way and get him over here. Boom, and then you can wrap this thing around his neck. All right. Let's say you block this way. So if you block this way, boom, you want to push kick so that you can get him away from you. Then you have space. You have put distance between you and him. Now, if you hit him right between either the testicles or the sternum, if he loses air, he goes down, do not engage. Get the fuck out of Dodge. Go get help, get your hands free, and get the fuck out of Dodge. Now, if you don't get him down, you're probably still going to have to engage. So, I ain't gonna lie, most people protect their testicles before they protect their sternum. So you always want to hit in the sternum. Because again, no matter how big your opponent is, if he cannot breathe, he cannot hurt you. That is the one truth that you need to live by and understand, especially if you're martial arts and you're teaching people martial arts. A person that can't breathe can't hurt you. A person that can't stand can still fuck you up, because my leg is hurting like shit, but I'm still standing. Alright? So things aren't going to be as exciting as I wanted them to be today, because somehow or another I fucking sprained my knee. It's called showing off. Oh boy. My little nephew is right there. He's like 1. Oh no. If I lose power, it's because he just shut the fucking door. That's not good. Okay, that's good. Hold on. Sorry about that. I had to make sure that he wasn't doing anything crazy and stupid. I mean, he is 1. Anyway, I'm back. So again, as I stated, a person who can't stand can still fuck you up. A person who cannot breathe cannot, because they're not breathing. Alright? Part of living and part of being human is that you have to breathe. You have to eat and you have to drink. But more importantly, you have to breathe. If you stop breathing, you're in deep shit. So, again, your hands are bound. So high, high, medium, medium, medium with knee, low. Alright? Now your hands are tied, but you still have the ability to block. Versus trying this shit. This shit's not gonna help you. Now, if you're a contortionist, first, you get the finger, because I'm jealous, because I can't do that shit. And yes, I mean the middle finger, not the thumbs up. No disrespect, but I'm jealous. I can't do that shit. And I'm an honest person, so yeah. If you're a contortionist, you get the finger. Because you can do shit with your body that I can never do with mine. So that's where, if you're a contortionist, good for you. Because then you can do shit like pull your hands over your shoulders or put your feet all the way through and all that other shit. Yeah, you get the finger. All right? Because not everybody can do that. But everybody can be a little mad about it. Okay? And I'm highly mad about it. Anyway, so he's throwing a left. I want to get to his outside, because I'm better at Kung Fu than I am with karate. But fights change. So he's throwing a left and a right, so I can block and I can block and I can block and I can block and I can keep stepping back. He's throwing kicks, I can throw blocks, you know. Can't do that with my hands behind my back. Now, if my hands are behind my back, first let me state it so that there's no confusion. I don't recommend Thai fighting for boxing when your hands are tied behind your back. If he's throwing a foot sweep and I block with my knee, as you can see, boom, I'm blocking, there's a high probability that I might miss that block and he might turn it into a foot sweep and I may go down where I can't block and block because I might not have the time to turn my body to block that shit. Here, that's not even a fucking concept of worry because my hands are tied in front. Boom, 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 boom. I can block. I can use my bondage as a weapon. It's not going to be like Jackie Chan where he throws a punch and I wrap that shit around there. Now, it can be done. I don't recommend it because if you lock it up, your hands are now tied to his hand and he still has a free hand and two free legs. So you kind of don't want to do that. If you have to use this as a weapon, you want to be behind him. You want it to be right there. And you want your knees either right here or in his shoulder blades. And you want to reel back. And 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to fall on the ground on your back. You're going to probably knock the wind out of you, so you want to make sure you tighten up. So put him as close to the chest as possible. And that way when you fall down, because he'll probably try to do like some wrestling shit and just drop on his back. That shit's going to hurt both of you. But if your knees are in his back and this is around his neck, he's going to hurt too. And he might wind up unaliving himself if he's not freaking careful. People do dumb shit in fights. Don't think that they don't, because they do. Now, let's say you get one hand free, all right? So now you're going to fight with this thing like this, all right? Because you have a weapon now. You're free, boom. Yeah, you got it. This has a knot, so, you know, it's also a strap, you know, so boom, strap, you know. What people fail to understand is sometimes the smallest thing that you have in your arsenal can be the most dangerous thing in your arsenal. Now, understanding, as I said again, do not attempt to do or attempt to try anything that you've seen me do, especially since I sprained my knee and my moves are a little bit off at the moment. Anyhow. The whole point being is that there will probably never be a time in your life where, unless you're making a movie, and anybody who wants to make a movie, we can do that, where your hands are like this. Or like this. If your hands are like this in real life, you have one hell of a life. And I do recommend that you go get some training so that you can learn how to fight with your hands tied. I have been training with my hands tied since I was about 7 or 8 years old. Is it recommended? Not really. Things were different in the 80s, all right? In the 80s, we were really into trash it. Oh, yeah, I did make a video, so I do need to do this really quickly. But I will say, what I'm about to do is extremely stupid. It's also bullshit. And do not attempt it, all right? So you guys see the videos and the movies where they're doing blind training. I'm going to tell you right now, I have trained blind. It is not the best idea. I have hurt people training just to see if the shit will work. So here's the thing. I'm not going to say it doesn't work. I am going to say this. The focus that it takes for you to do this is in candy. And there's also one other thing. Listen. You hear that humming noise? You're going to hear all of that, plus the sounds of the environment. I don't know if you guys can hear this. When you hear about 5 or 7 different people running around in a circle, it's going to be kind of hard to tell what you're hitting. And you're going to have to swing at everything that moves, and you're not going to hear the sound of their fist. Let me make sure, if y'all hear this, make sure you let me know. Okay, that's like my elbow cracking. So, if you don't know what to listen for, everybody's elbow doesn't crack when they throw a punch. Especially y'all young people. You know, there's a reason why I'm all the way over here. It's called so I don't damage anything. you're going to train this way, I highly recommend that you train with someone that's supervising you to make sure that they're guiding you and protecting you, not from anybody other than yourself. Because this is dangerous shit. Alright? It is very bad to attempt this. And if you're going to make a movie about this shit, it's going to be completely choreographed. You're not going to attempt to do this shit by yourself. You are not Jinx from G.I. Joe 1987. The key in his eye is that looks inward. You are not her. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I am saying that it's highly improbable. And my eyes are also shut because if you don't shut your eyes when you do this shit, your eyes will get like red and burnt out. Okay. I still hear the humming. Alright? So if I'm here, this is my right. This is my left. Now if I want to do Tai Chi with the blindfold, fine. But if I want to fight, there's a car door somewhere up there. Someone's opening and closing it. That motherfucking humming over there is crazy. Because my knee hurts, we're not going to do any jumping spin kicks. Hopefully the camera is still right here. Alright? Again, my eyes are shut under this bitch. So, double side. Low and then high, I think. Okay, they're both the same size. So, let's go this way. I think the car's over there. So, okay. Not gonna attempt it with this one. It's just gonna be a straight side kick. Yep. Alright, so knees. Okay, so I know this is not conventional because most people just do it this way instead of the triangle. Some do it this way, like traditional Thai fighting. You know, here or here. Now, I prefer the triangle method. A lot of people don't prefer the triangle method, but I prefer the triangle method because it's easier to block as well. So if I hit here, I can still block in case the other one comes and in case I don't catch it there. Alright? So there are different ways of people training. Again, if you want to do Tai Chi blindfolded, knock yourself out because you're just feeling the wind on your hands, the ground on your feet. You're not fighting anybody. You want to fight somebody blindfold? Two things. Make sure your hospital insurance is paid up. Make sure your funeral insurance is paid up. Because 9 times out of 10, you are going to one or the other. See, people don't tell you that shit because, you know, you're going to go watch this movie. That movie's going to be bad as shit. I'm going to be in it. I'm going to be fighting these guys. I'm going to be blindfolded. That actor does not remember he's an actor. He just thought, oh, it was a badass movie. It's got asses in the seats. It's got money in the pocket. But what they fail to tell you in all movies, small disclaimer, do not attempt. You will get hurt. And you have to understand, most of the movies, the stuntmen are martial artists. All right? The actors are taught just enough martial art, unless they are martial artists from the jump before becoming actors. We're gonna work this scene out for about 3 weeks. We're gonna spend the bulk of the day in the gym working out this scene. This scene is gonna be flawless when we start filming. Why? Because we worked on this bitch for 3 weeks. Alright? We spent a lot of time on this shit, so it's just like fucking second nature. So when you go to rehearsal every day and you're training in this blindfold, that stunt guy's like 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Okay? Again, 1, 2, 1. Alright? Reason why it's 1, 2, 1 is because it's a whole lot easier to stop at 1 and 2 than to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you're going to know how many punches and how many kicks. So if he's going to throw 3 punches, right, left, right. Right kick, left kick. Right, left, right. Right, left, right, left, right. Okay? So 9 times out of 10 people get tired after that first 2 kicks. So you're gonna want to reset. All right. It also depends on how much shape they're in. As you can see, I have a belly. I need to work on that shit. I sprained the knee. So we're gonna go into weapons demonstrations now. But I just wanted to make sure that we're clear that you have to be honest with the people that you're teaching shit on the internet, so that they don't run out and try to fly and get like a scar over their head. See, when I was a kid, I used to watch The Greatest American Hero, and there was no disclaimer telling us that we could not fly. I have a scar over my eye for thinking that I could fly. Also, I was 5, and I didn't realize that kids don't see color. You know. Okay. So I'm not gonna do double nunchucks, but I am gonna do one. We're gonna go with red. And understand, my red's a little fucked up. We're gonna change that plan. These are practice chucks, as you can see. That's that little stuff in there. That's why we're changing the plan. The cushion's about to come off. Now, for the unimpressed or the unknowledgeable, a training weapon is still a weapon. Understand that shit. A training weapon is still a weapon. It is supposed to be non-lethal. However, another thing that they leave off is that in the right hands, a training weapon is just as lethal and deadly as the actual shit. Alright? An actual martial artist doesn't even really need this. He can beat you with a knot in a t-shirt. Okay? Because it's the same principle. I'm just boom, boom. Now, see how that works? See how it bounced back? A lot of people that do nunchucks forget to tell you that when this thing hits something solid, it comes back to cinder. Alright? See how it goes back? See how it's coming this way? It's going back that way. I'm not like smacking it back. No. Boom. Sometimes it stays, but most of the times you see that happen. And if you're hitting somebody and you hit them right, and this bitch comes back at you, you need to be able to go through. This is why they tell you when you make a nunchuck hit, you follow all the way through. Boom. You don't like stop because it's going to come back. Alright? A lot of people leave that shit off when they do nunchuck videos. They leave that shit off because either they haven't really hit something solid enough to send that bitch flying back at them, or they've never used it in combat. Guess what? I've done both. I've used this bitch in combat, and I've hit some shit that send this motherfucker right back at me. So that's how I know these bitches, even these fucking practice ones, they fly right back at you. So, you know, you have your basic strike, boom. You want to follow all the way through, boom. All right, now if you notice, I get it from behind, so that didn't come out right. Pause. I let it go behind me, and I have my guard straight just in case it comes up here and clocks me in the fucking head. So we don't want that. If I'm going to hit you going this way, boom, I follow all the way through. And as you see, I let it go all the way through. So from this side, boom, I let it go all the way through. From this side, boom. If you don't let it go all the way through, it might come back and hit you. Now you will never do this part while fighting somebody. You don't have the time. This is for movie purposes, for training purposes. And that's the other reason. I didn't let that happen on purpose. You get to going with these bitches, man. Sometimes you forget. And your hands get sweaty and you lose your grip. You just lost your advantage. Boom. 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 Go all the way through. Fully extend. Now also remember, even at this range, if it hits somebody, it's probably going to come back at you. Which is why you want to go all the way through. Now the thing about nunchucks, your ability to recover. Alright? Boom. 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 Nunchucks are very dangerous. Even the practice ones. Chobos. What you're not going to do, unless you're in a movie, is this. You're not going to do that when you're in a real fight. You're going to take your stance, and you're going to have your guard. You have a T-block, you have your regular block. Now again, depending on who teaches you what, this is for Kempo. Kempo, not Kenpo. Same fucking thing. Somebody fucked up in the goddamn design of the name. Also, it's Kick Up. I don't know who the fuck Kip is. Alright? But it was Kick Up before it was Kip Up. Alright? And no, we're not doing that today. I don't want to get dirty. So, the Phantom just came through. So again, you're not going to do this if you're in a real fight. Boom, 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 boom. Alright? Now, if he's coming this way and you want to just do like a double wham and then slam, it's the same thing as doing, but, you know, you're using sticks. So, flap, flap, get him to the outside. You know, if you can get over here, crack, you can crack him out. You know, if you both are fighting the same thing and your sticks are clocking, you're going to be fighting all day. I'm 50 years old. If we're fighting with these sticks, I'm trying to break your shit and get that shit the fuck over with. I don't heal like you heal, as you know, since my knee is still fucked up. So, boom, bam, or boom, boom. My T block, boom, boom, or an X block. You know, it's for strikes that are coming here, so I can slide off, here, so I can slide off. Now, if it's on this side, I can't slide off. So I have to push and then slide. Boom. So I have to push and then slide. Now, if I'm here and it's on this side, see, it's on this side over here versus over here. If it's caught with this one, I can't slide off. I can jab, but that takes too much time. So I'm going to push and then slide off. Alright? So again, if I'm blocking here and it's on this side, I have to push to slide or push to jab. We don't want to do that. So when we're doing this, we always want it to get on this side. Boom! Foul! You know? Boom! See how I fucked it up? Blocked here with this side. Boom. Over here, I want to be over this way. So depending on the strike, boom. This is on the outside, this is on the inside, so boom, fat. Yeah. Now I got it right. This is on the outside, this is on the inside. Boom. Now, you want to be able to use the stick that's closest to the opponent, which is why I said, boom, this would be the stick as long as the opponent is on this side. His stick is here. Boom. Now, everybody ought to know, everything I just said was accurate, but it was fucked up. Why is it fucked up? Make sure you're paying attention. He has another stick. So if I'm here and I don't strike first, you know, if I'm blocking and smiling, he has another stick. So he swung here, I blocked here. His other hand, boom. There you go. You have to be aware that you have two sticks. Your opponent has two sticks. It's Kimpo. Alright? So, what you're not going to do? Not going to do that. If you're in the movies, okay, that's fine. In real life, these bitches better never leave your hand unless somebody racks your fucking hand and you drop it. You drop it, boom, kick that shit at them. It's going to hurt. It's probably going to hurt you just as much as it's going to hurt them, but kick it at them so you'll have the chance to use your other stick. Sometimes you have to fight a little dirty in fights. I'm sorry. Now, practice kamas. They're wooden, still dangerous in the right hands. Alright? Still dangerous in the right hands. So for kamas, these things are what you would call close quarters and very dangerous because the blades are supposed to be real. These are wooden. The thing with kamas are, this is what you're not going to do. Block, gash, pull it out, spin it, and do that. From the side. Block, gash, pull it out, whip it. No, you're not going to do that. What you're going to do is block, gash, pull back, gash some more. Boom, 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 boom. Not boom, whip, whip. See how I just going to cut my own damn arm off. So boom, whip, whip versus boom, whip, whip it out. Yeah, looks cool as shit. I know you guys see those tournaments where people are whirling their kamas and shit. They're doing shit like that. In real life, a kama could go through your arm. And your whole fucking day is going to be done. Period. Your whole day is done. So you don't want to do that. So if a guy's coming at you, boom, slap. That's it. This goes through the armor, pull back, and goes back. This is holding whatever weapon they were using. Boom, boom, boom. Not, here, let me pull it out. Let me look cool and do it again. No, because that's how you die. When you hit him here and you're cutting that armor, you keep cutting the armor. You're going to have to hold this guy because his sword's like right there, so you're going to have to hold him. Boom, boom, boom. You don't have time to hold him and then show off. Sorry, my nephew's at the window. Anyway, again, boom, that's correct. Boom, incorrect. Unless you're gonna make a movie. If you're gonna make a movie, yeah, that looks cool as shit. You know how many times you got to make that take? No one's gonna get it on the first take, or if they do, the cameraman will probably be sleeping. And everybody like, oh, did you get that? Huh? We were still rolling? Oh, my bad. Happens in indie films all the time. Beautiful girl walks past, cameraman's looking at her. I'm guilty of that shit myself. Boom, boom, boom. That is correct. Boom. That is incorrect. And now again, in real life, if you roll your comma and that bitch rolls into your wrist, you're probably gonna bleed out before the battle's even over with. Real commas are razor fucking sharp because they were garden tools. They're nothing but little sickles. So you need to be real careful at your weapon of choice. And now, by the power of my imagination, we're going to turn these commas into tonfas. Now, real tonfas have a little bit more space, and they're a hell of a lot thicker. Now, I am an outside to inside tonfa guy, not an inside to outside tonfa guy for the very reason, you see how this is? If you don't get full extension and you go for this, you might break your own rib with a tonfa. They're like fucking seriously thick. So, you get strike, boom. That works a lot better for me than boom and then boom. Alright? But that's me. You will figure out what works for you. Boom, boom. I feel more comfortable with that versus boom and boom. Now for me, it's easier to get it out than it is to try to come in. As you see, I just grazed myself. I did it purposefully so, because if you don't get that full extension, there's that. I don't do this way. Alright? You don't want to check your own chin trying to knock somebody else out. Alright? So, if you're blocking, boom! And there goes my alarm. Both of them. That means it's 1 o'clock. I've had you guys out here for a long time. Okay, so, I don't know why I can't stop that. Okay, so, again, with tonfas, boom! That's me. Boom! That's not me, but if necessary, can be done. You know, but I prefer boom and that versus boom and then that. All right, tonfas aren't that damn difficult. They really aren't. They're not. You're not going to be doing a whole lot of. It's not. It's not even necessary. This is necessary. Block, strike. Now, real tonfas, they are square. This is round. So if I'm hitting you with a real tonfa, you're going to sleep. Unless you have an iron jaw, which 9 times out of 10 you're not. But I'm also able to hit you in the solar plexus, or the sternum, or the testicles. I'm able to do a whole lot of damage with this tonfa by just jabbing you. If I go it this way, boom! I can stop you within arm's distance. So in arm's distance, and I'm a short dude, so if you're over 6'7", this is your testicles. Boom! And as you come down, I'm just gonna raise the tonfa up. Or I'm gonna come around. So, boom! I got all damn day with these bitches. I love tonfas, except for these are actually commas, but they're wooden, and tonfas are also wooden. They have metal ones. I don't need metal. Alright? I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not trying to unalive you. I'm just trying to keep you from unaliving me. So you're 6'7", I'm 5'3". Boom! That's a muzzle thump to the testicles. When you come over, bam! Go ahead and put your ass to sleep. Hopefully. I'm not trying to unalive you, I just want to put you down. And that's another thing that people fail to understand. I'm going to say this, and this is something that's going to probably get Martial Talk upset. And you can get upset. I send warnings, not invitations. In martial arts, because other martial artists aren't saying it, I'll be honest with everybody watching. You can hurt somebody in martial arts without even trying. All right? Especially if you're a novice, and even more so if you're a professional. All right? The longer you've been in it, the more dangerous you are. The longer you stay in it, the more dangerous you become. The more styles you learn, the more lethal you become. The more weapons you acquire, the more lethal you become until you don't. Now, if my leg wasn't hurting, I would do what I normally do, which is jump over this bitch. When I bring it down, I just jump over it. But my leg hurts like shit. So somewhere in this video, you'll see where I fucked myself up. If you go watch it on Kung Fu Havoc #2. But, you know, this is a range weapon. If you know how to use a meteor hammer, you can use a chain without the meteor hammer. But you also need to learn how to control your weapon. Fatty parts of the skin, I'll show you from the back. You turn it into like your muscle, like right there, right there. You don't want to get hit in the testicles. If you're a male, now if you're going too fast, extend it. Watch and learn. Catch it in your heel. So yeah, you can do a meteor hammer. Chain is the same damn thing. Now, hopefully this makes up for lost time for Instagram. When my rings get finished, after my brother B fixes up the rings, I'll do more ring training. Hopefully my knee will stop hurting. But in closing, you know, I want to make sure everybody understands. There are a lot of people out here that we follow that do martial arts. I'm sorry I didn't wave at y'all. I apologize profusely for that. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm about to end the live anyway. So you can send a live request, but know that you're gonna have your voice on YouTube because I started recording YouTube before I did the lives. Anyway, so here's the thing. A lot of us follow a lot of martial artists. A lot of martial artists leave a lot of truths out, all right? I'm not here to do that. I'm also telling you the truth so that if you continue on your martial art journey, you will understand the good and the bad, and negotiate in the middle is kind of where you're going to be, all right? As I said earlier, sometimes you have to fight a little dirty in fights. That's because, here's the thing. In the tournaments, rules are required and necessary. Out here, if I was in Angel Grove right now, about 17 putties would probably attack me. That's a shout out for the Power Ranger fans. And I would do everything possible to destroy, maim, and break putties into pieces because they're clay. No one's gonna miss them. Now, if they were like living actual beings, I might be against hurting them. Okay, I'm not gonna be against hurting them. I'm just gonna be against unaliving them. But they are putties and they are evil, so I don't think anybody would have a problem with me destroying a putty here or there. But in real life, if you're fighting out here, in the backyard, in the park, in the streets, there are no fucking rules. There's just one. Survive. That's your rule. You gotta do what you gotta do. Break elbows, break kneecaps, punch in the throat, punch in the sternum, punch in the testicles, gouge out an eye, try to rip off an ear. Do everything you can so that you are not hurt. Worry about the jail time and shit later, because you're probably going to get some time. It also depends on who's witnessing, and since you're all on cell phones, because this is being recorded or watched on a cell phone, you know, there's going to be people out there watching it. So you're going to have to request that the judge puts out a document so that everybody who was there, you can either subpoena them or subpoena the footage. which won't be that long because we all know how social media works. Like, oh, did you guys see that fight that Echo Fang Grey Wolf was in? He was beating the shit out of that dude. Or on the reverse note, you see that fight that Echo Fang Grey Wolf was in? He was getting his ass pummeled by that dude. You know, it happens. You're never going to win them all. Unless you go through the championship challenge. You know, you're fighting for your championship belt in like UFC or one. And after you beat the champion, if you retire and your record is 1 and all zeros, that 1 is a win by KO. And it got you to the championship. Or you got 13 wins, 0 loses, 0 ties. Now, once you do that, once you get to like however many number it takes to get to the main guy, you knock everybody out in the first round. When you get that belt, retire. Then you have won them all. Now, the question is, are you going to be a fighting champion or are you just going to win that belt and retire? Because I'm old and I would tell you if I was 20 years old, I would win that belt and retire. Fuck defending that shit. I won the shit for me. I didn't win it for the United States or anybody else. I won that shit for me. I don't have to defend that bitch. I can give it up right after I win. Here you go. I just want to see if I could do it. You know? Now, in my 20s, I was a whole lot more irrational, if you would. I was ruthless and reckless all at the same time. I didn't give a shit. But I still lived in reality, you know. I never lost any fights. I lived in reality. The only person that's ever beat my ass in my life was my older sister. That's it. Everybody else knew not to fuck with me. But I also had been forced to fight since I was 6 years old. All right? And this is why I said, the younger you start at martial arts, the better you will be. I didn't start my martial arts until I was 7. However, there are people who have been doing martial arts since they was 2 and 3 years old, and they are not to be fucked with. Those are prodigies. And they will fuck your shit up. They have been doing martial arts since they've been out of diapers. And in some cases, while they were in diapers. So, I mean, I be looking at these people on fucking TikTok and YouTube and Instagram with these little girls is coming up beating the shit out of boys. Hey, one of my favorites was a 5-year-old kickboxer. She ain't lost yet. But that was like 2 or 3 years ago. She's got to be about like 7 or 8. So I don't know if she's still doing it because her parents haven't posted anything. And, you know, TikTok and Instagram kind of be like shady on some of the shit you are allowed to see, especially with TikTok and your FYP. Sometimes they don't allow certain shit to come on. But this girl was dominating. She's a little Asian girl from Thailand, kicking everybody's ass, 5 years old. So that was about like 3 or 4 years ago. She's got to be about like 7 or 8 now. But she was beating up boys. Like, they hit her, she took that shit on the chin like she was Jesus. And just like, come back, boom, oh, you hit me? Oh, no, hell no. And she literally beat up boys her age, and she was just dominating shit. So don't think that your gender will prevent you from ever beating up somebody's ass. That shit's a misnomer. People just tell you that shit because they want you women to believe that you are weaker than men. It's bullshit. Nobody's stronger or weaker than anybody else. Your skill set is the most important thing you're ever going to have. Doesn't matter if you're a male, doesn't matter if you're a female, your skill set is the most important thing you're going to have. Now, as for me, I'm a strong believer in Wing Chun and traditional Kung Fu. I don't do traditional Kung Fu. I take what I need from that and I go to the next thing. Same thing with Kempo, same thing with Karate, same thing with Taekwondo, same thing with every style I've taken. I've taken the bits that I can use and the shit that I can't really use or utilize, it's in the back. It's still there. I still know it. But if I can't use it at the moment that it's needed, it's just going to be back on the side somewhere until it is necessary for me to actually use it. Understand one thing about martial arts. Again, it is not a game, and you can hurt somebody without even trying. So to everybody watching tonight and today or wherever the hell you may be careful. Learn more than one style. Learn more than one style because you just don't know who you are going to encounter. And if you encounter someone who knows a little bit more than you, it doesn't mean they're going to beat you. It just means you got to put that fucking work in. And you're going to have to put that work in. So you need to practice more than one style. You need to learn more than one style. And I'm sorry, my nose is running. So I'm going to blow it. Whenever the weather shifts, my nose runs. And, you know, got to make sure there's nothing in there. Okay, we're good. Hey, I carry a mirror in my pocket. I'm a man. I had a very bad experience once, and it was a beautiful girl who saw stuff from my nose. So I never stopped carrying a mirror after that. Never saw her again, but, you know, I learned my lesson. Girls don't like those things. Anyway, moving on. As I close out, I want you to understand one more thing. I started these social medias to bump up my acting career because the only person I've been acting for in the last 20 some odd fucking years has been me. But you can find my shit on YouTube. I do need to go downtown and talk to somebody so I can get everything I've ever done put together and put on YouTube. I only have one thing on Kung Fu Havoc #1. Everything else has been either some songs or some crazy ass skits or some Monday Night Improvs here on my YouTube channel of Kung Fu Havoc #2. I tried to make everything up to y'all. I try to honor my word. I am gonna always give you 99.9. You may not like it, and if necessary, I will drop the whole 2,000 because some people just don't like honesty. All right, but I greatly appreciate you. Also, if you're on TikTok right now, this is a no gifts live. Do not give me anything. I don't know how to use that shit. Save that for someone who needs it. Even if I need it, I don't need it. Mostly because I don't want you spending money on me when my acting career takes off. If I get a show on Netflix or some shit like that, that's where you're going to be spending your money. All right? I would personally prefer you to just see it for free. But that's not how this business works. All right? So let's just keep this shit real. I'm waiting for someone to sign me or someone to give me a commercial, like a Gatorade commercial because I love Gatorade, or Lipton tea. I'm looking for that. You know, I'm also looking for someone to send my martial arts to Kevin Feige and say, hey, let's make this guy Miguel O'Hara or some Native American character like Wyatt Wingfoot. You know, give me a job. That's the only thing I've really ever asked for y'all, is just to push my shit to somebody that can help me get over that hump. I'm a 50-year-old man that's make it or break it for me, so let's do this shit. And I know that I will owe each and every one of you a debt that I can't repay, which is why I always thank you guys. When I make a thank you video on my YouTube channel, because I have 321 people again, it's not a big following. I have 900 plus here on Instagram, and I have over 1,000 here on TikTok. And I thank you guys every fucking day. Every day. This is why also, happy Native American Heritage Month. I will be dropping the last Native American Heritage video on YouTube and TikTok tonight. Instagram, I do apologize because the only way I can record is I have to hold the damn button, and that shit's not going to work for me where I can just set the camera down. So anything that you missed on Native American Heritage Month on TikTok, if you're not on my TikTok, you can please go to my Kung Fu Havoc 2. There's 29 days after yesterday. Well, starting today, there's 29 days, but after today, there will be 30 days of Native American superheroes that you guys on Instagram have missed. TikTok, you have them all. I will be doing a triple whammy tonight. I'm not going to tell you who they are. You have to go to my YouTube channel because that video is already posted letting you know who they're going to be. Anyway, that being said, I'm going to end the lives, and I'm going to end the YouTube, and then I'm going to go post the shit. Thank you guys very much for being here. I am Echo Finn Grey Wolf, a.k.a. James Williams Jr. Be seeing you. In that. Why is this not ending? Yes, I am sure. Okay. I'm trying to end this damn TikTok. It will not let me end the TikTok. Hi, Berta. Come on. God damn it. Okay, well, let me end the YouTube while I'm struggling to end the TikTok. Thank you guys for watching. Okay, I've had them for almost a complete hour. Yes, in that. And